Greetings, and today's creepypasta is going to be slightly different. This creepypasta includes a confession by a real-life serial killer called Albert Fish. You may already be familiar with him. Hamilton Howard Albert Fish was an American serial killer. He was also known as the Grey Man, the Werewolf of Wisteria, the Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Maniac, and the Boogeyman. He was a child rapist and cannibal. He boasted that he had had children in every state, and at one time stated that the number was about 100. However, it is not known whether he was referring to rapes or cannibalism. When he was arrested, over 24 needles were found in Fish's pelvis and perineum, and were all self-embedded. He was put on trial for kidnapping and the murder of Grace Budd, and was convicted and executed by the electric chair on January 16, 1936. The following is a confession taken in Sing Sing prison, describing the murder of 4-year-old Billy Gaffney. I brought him to the Riker Avenue dumps. There is a house that stands there alone, not far from where I took him. I took the boy there, stripped him naked, and tied his hands and feet, and gagged him with a piece of dirty rag that I picked out the dump. Then I burnt his clothes. I threw his shoes into the dump. Then I walked back and took a trolley to 59th Street at 2 a.m. I walked from there home. Next day, about 2 p.m, I took tools, a good heavy cat-o'-nine tails, homemade, short handle, cut one of my belts in half, slit these halves into 6 strips about 8 inches long. I whipped his bare behind until blood ran down his legs. I cut off his ears, nose, I slit his mouth from ear to ear, and I gouged out his eyes. He was dead then. I stuck the knife in his belly and held my mouth to his body and drank his blood. I picked up 4 old potato sacks and gathered a pile of stones. Then I cut him up. I had a grip with me. I put his nose, ears, and a few slices of his belly into the grip. Then I cut him through the middle, just below the belly button. Then through his legs, about 2 inches below his behind. I put this in my grip with a lot of paper. I cut off his head, feet, arms, hands, and legs below the knees. This I put in the sack, weighed with stones, tied the ends, and I threw them into the pools of slimy water you'll see all along the road going to North Beach. I came home with my meat. I had the front of his body, I liked best, his monkey and peewees, and a nice little fat behind to roast in the oven and eat. I made a stew from his ears, nose, and pieces of his face and belly. I put onions, carrots, turnips, celery, salt and pepper. It was good. Then I split the cheeks of his behinds open, cut off his monkey and peewees and washed them first. I put strips of bacon on each cheek of his behind, and then put them in the oven. Then I picked 4 onions, and when the meat had roasted about a quarter hour, I poured about a pint of water over it for gravy, and I put in the onions. At frequent intervals I basted the behind with a wooden spoon, so the meat would be nice and juicy. In about 2 hours it was nice and brown, cooked all the way through. I never ate any roast turkey that tasted as half good as his sweet, fat little behind did. I ate every bit of the meat in about 4 days. His little monkey was sweet as a nut, but his peewee I could not chew. I threw them in the toilet.